Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is Skyhill. $14.99, it is $13.49 until October 13th, and it is a post-apocalyptic roguelike that has you fighting through 100 levels of a hotel trying to escape the horrors within it. Now, before I begin, I want to make sure you guys know this key was obtained from the developers in question for the purposes of previewing it on this channel 2 months ago. It's 2 months later, the game has come out, and now I'm going to take a look at it formally. I want to make sure you guys know that for, whole FTC ethics reasons, but more so the fact that you guys should know that information, that to make an opinion about what I have to say about this game. It won't affect my opinion, but you guys should know. Now, let's get right into it. Let's play a round of normal difficulty. Before each mission, or run per se, you can choose a passive and an active stat. At the start of the game, you have none, but as you go along and you unlock certain things, you'll get more of these. Each of them have strengths and curses. So for example, I can be an addict, meaning that I'm immune to poison, and overripe fruit has no negative effect on me. However, if I'm hungry, I'll suffer from terrible withdrawal and I'll lose 5 more times HP per turn. And I'll get to that in a bit. I'm going to actually take that stat just to, show you exactly what that does. Also, I get an active stat. I'm actually going to choose the free upgrade just because, but you can get things like a first aid kit, a ability to unlock doors, or even amnesia, which is a little bit strange, but okay, sure, why not? Now, there is a story behind this. You are a businessman. You are living in a post-apocalyptic world. These monsters didn't come from nowhere. There are issues within this world. So the idea here is that there's defense systems for biological, entities and things like that. But let's just say things don't go very well. Now, one of the negatives I have right off the bat of this game is its inconsistent storytelling elements. There are weird situations regarding this game, regarding its storytelling. I understand it's supposed to be more natural in terms of sort of coming across information and things like that because of the roguelike elements of it, but it just never works for me. I feel like it gives too little information, and when it does, it's done in a weird way. So I'll get to that in a little bit. This is the VIP room, and this is your safe haven. This is the room that you've rented out, and well, it's your home base. You'll be able to sleep there, upgrade yourself, so on and so forth. Right now, I'm going to actually use my inspiration to get an upgrade for my base. You'll notice that the door is now reinforced. I'll get to what exactly that means in a little bit. But I need food. I need weapons. All I can do is start exploring. So, let's see what's in here. Nothing. Alright, a stiletto. Good. Even though I don't have the speed in order to really effectively use it, it's better than my bare fists. So I'm going to put it on at this point. Each weapon has a requirement. You can still use the weapon, but if you don't have the skills, you will take a damage penalty, as you see there. So, rather important to know what weapons and what stats you need to increase as you level up. Alright, nothing there. You'll also notice that the game is rather slow in terms of progression. I mean, I'm walking along here. Luckily, there are these guys. And you will love these guys because they speed things up. I'll speed up it once at this point, just because for sake of presentation, but I do like the fact that they added these in there. I feel like the main stat and setting is rather slow, but I played through the game a couple of times, so I'm obviously more used to it at this point. Alright. I don't know why some of the thematic things in this game are a little bit weird. So there are people dying, things are killing, and I'm worried about, not breaking this machine open because I don't have a coin. Thematic-wise, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Alright. I haven't run into an enemy yet, which is surprising, as I say that. Alright, so now I gotta fight this enemy. So, basic combat is basically turn-based. So I punch him, he punches me. I have health, he has health, as you can see in the top left and top right corners here. There are critical hits, as you saw there, and I can miss. So simple combat, and basically I want to get out without taking as little damage as possible. All right, 20 experience. I needed that. And I will see if he has anything on him. Oh, good. A large med kit. That's actually rather useful. And a stick, a bell pepper, some dog food, and some glue. I'm actually going to eat the dog food right now. So, 2 main stats that you have to worry about and always, keep in mind. Your health and your hunger. Your hunger is fixed with eating food. Now, you may think, well, why not just eat the bell pepper? I'll get to that in a bit. You can actually craft better food as you upgrade at this point. Alright, as you see there, I have like wood and glue that I can use to maybe upgrade my VIP section as I find more equipment. Some barbed wire. You're not always going to find things, but when you do, it's rather useful. Alright, I've gotten to this floor, the 95th floor, and I need to repair this. I don't have any gears though, but I could still attempt to do it. I just may lose energy. So I'm going to try. Alright, I lost 8 energy, but I was able to repair it. Now, the thing about this is that it's a little bit strange the way they do it. I wanted to see more of a risk and reward mechanic there where, okay, I need to get back up to my VIP section. I need to fix this. Okay, I need to repair this. I'll take the chance. The problem here is that if you skip one and go to the next floor, like the next power section, doesn't matter. You have to fix the one above you in order for it to work. And that sort of creates this weird dynamic. It's like, well, wait a minute. I had to fix it anyway. Why did you give me a choice? It's sort of really weird in that case. I really wish they would have changed that. All right. I'm looking for the VIP card because I need that in order to be able to get back up there. I am finding a lot of equipment. Did I get the VIP card yet? Nope. So I'm basically searching for that card and hoping that just, be able to get back up there so I can, start making better weaponry, more food, things like that. Okay, he's almost dead. He's doing a lot of damage to me, though. I really need a better weapon, or to upgrade to my speed, which I will now get because I am at a new level. I need 7 speed, so I'll get that, and now I get a bonus for using that weapon. 4 main stat points: strength, speed, dexterity, and accuracy. Accuracy gives me better chance to hit. Dexterity, more dodging chances. Extra turn chance with speed. This is why I love speed, because you can get extra turns, and strength gives you critical chances. But for the top 3, for weapons that use that skill, you will get bonuses to your strength, like plus 1.8 because of my speed. Rather important. I'm actually going to choose dexterity as well, just because I want more chances to dodge as well. And most of the weapons that you use early on are speed and dexterity based. It's actually something I will hold against the game. In terms of balance of the weaponry, a lot of it is suited towards speed and dexterity. While strength is more of a critical chance, I understand, the strength seems to be not as important in the long run, especially when you consider the fact that it does actually less damage than everything else. I think, though, that's compared to the stat in question. So keep that in mind. I just find it not keeping on par with everything else. Alright, so I'm going to beat him down here. Now, you'll notice this. You see, there is a different fighting system in this game. I can actually go for specific body parts. So, for example, I could go for a headshot. A lot more damage, but I may miss. This case, I didn't. Or I can go for the arms. It's a little bit less damaging, but I'm guaranteed to hit more likely, which in that case, with him low on health, yeah, makes sense. The problem here is that, yeah, okay, so let's take a look here. 9.6 damage, 4.8 damage. So half the time I will hit and I will get a critical hit, but half the time I'll miss. I feel like the risk is outweighed by the reward in terms of the game unfortunately just doesn't do enough for me to really want to go for those high percentages. I felt like it needed to be 3 times or, significantly higher than what it was because it just doesn't do the job. I don't see why I want to go for those larger elements. All right. I do have the VIP card, so I'm actually going to make my way upstairs to show you guys some of the crafting system. So, I can craft, for example, a kitchen based on the materials I've got. I got a stick and a brick that I can make a kitchen with. I'm not sure how that works, where you jam the stick in the brick or something, and somehow a magical kitchen appliance appears, but apparently I haven't dealt with survival situations, so unfortunately, it's lucky that this guy knows what he's doing. Now, why would I want to craft a kitchen? Well, the kitchen can make better food for me. So, for example, I've got a bell pepper and a mushroom here that would be able to give me 18 hunger, but I can make a vegetable stew, which is 25. A lot more effective. So you can find those items and be able to improve the stats of your situation in question, being able to push on further and further at that point. Rather useful. Craft some other stuff here. I'm going to craft a cable. What do I need to upgrade my workbench? I need nails. Do I have metal? I do not have metal, so I'm going to have to wait on that one. Alright. So we're going to go back down. I do wish it would show me where the last floor I was on, or a little bit more clearly, because sometimes it can begin confusing. Wait, what floor was I on at this point? Alright, I'm going to have to fight you. Let's just go for this. You'll also notice that, just doing regular attacks at times seem to be, at times, more efficient. It just doesn't necessarily do well in terms of the whole risk and reward mechanic there. Now, I've been saying risk and reward mechanic a lot during this. I do like the survival elements of this game in terms of when do I need to use my items, when do I need to go back up to the VIP section to upgrade my, skills or upgrade my equipment, and when not to. Because again, every time I move into a room, I lose hunger. So I have to make sure that every move counts. I have the fuse box generator here. Generator's way too expensive, so I'm going to try this. It worked. I could have lost equipment based off of what might have happened there. So it is rather important to understand, when do I go for it? When do I don't? When do I go into a room? When do I retreat? I like that. I like the fact that it does do a good job in terms of making it so that every choice that you make does seemingly have a purpose to it. Most of them, at least. Okay, good. Metal. I think I can make those nails, so I'm actually going to go back up because I want to get a better weapon at this point. Also, I have 2 fish, which I know I can fry. So, craft. And that's going to really help my hunger at this point, even though I'm not a salmon person. Alright, let's make some nails. Alright, and I think that will... No, I need metal as well, which I don't have. Fantastic. Good job, Sean. Now, I can go to sleep right now and regain my health. This door protects me from the monsters that could come and try to attack me in my sleep. And so I have to keep in mind that, yeah, I can go to sleep and recover some health at the exchange of hunger, but you have to realize that that could be problematic. Alright. Come on. Some enemies can run, as you see there. I'm trying to find everything I can in these rooms to get as much equipment for the later levels. You'll notice that you're definitely going to want to hoard stuff. You can run, but you need as much equipment as you can, especially because, yeah, it is luck-based. There will be runs where you just don't get the equipment that you need. This is a roguelike. This is going to be brutal in this case, but it gives you enough where you feel like you do have a chance. Ooh, a phone. This usually has something that I could definitely deal with. Alright, so we shall meet in 78 Heaven, 78th floor. And this will usually lead into something where I can get experience, aka more stats for me to deal with. Ooh, water. I'm actually getting a lot of equipment here, which I'm rather liking. And I have the scrap metal, so I'm going to want to go to a door and get back up so I can maybe make a better weapon. Because the stiletto is going to get outshined rather easily. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to craft the work branch. I think that may be a typo. And hopefully I can make a better weapon at this point. Well, I can make a mop, which apparently can do a little bit more damage than the stiletto, actually, in some cases. Spear. Let's see, what else could I make? I need 2 blades to be able to make a saw, but I wouldn't be able to improve my stats. You got to really look through and see what is worth taking a look at and what's not. See, a lot of these weapons at this point, I don't have the stats to deal with at this point. Now, I could try to make a hatchet. Do I have the equipment to do that? I don't have the electrical tape, which that's masking tape, so I did do a couple of classes in electrical engineering. I know what I'm talking about. Anything else I can do? More fried fish, of course. And, of course, it is the post-apocalyptic situation, so we're going to make ourselves a cocktail. Because, well, we need some way to forget all this shit. Alright, back to the 887th floor. Down we go. And another enemy for us to deal with. And our stiletto, which is getting outclassed at this point. Alright, so what else? Well, I like the fact that the stat improvements do a lot in terms of your character. You can really build a custom character. Again, I feel like the stats are one-sided towards speed and dexterity, but I can see where a strength mechanic in terms of sort of hit and run or hit mechanics would work, especially because of the critical nature of things. Crowbar, that could actually be very useful because that will deal a lot more damage. Now, weapons can break. It is something that I do have against this game in terms of when a weapon does break, at times it doesn't tell you very well. I wish there was an audio cue in terms of, like, you know, a breaking sound. Like, for example, you could be sleeping at your VIP section and you could be attacked, you grab a weapon, it breaks, but you get rid of the monster. It just doesn't necessarily use the audio well in order to deal with it. In fact, I feel like overall the audio in this game is one of its downsides. I feel like if it really wanted to be taken to the next level, taking the enemies as opposed to these like generic grunts or like, you know, the powering up, having electrical sound, I feel like the sound design is probably one of the weakest elements of this game because it just doesn't really do what it needs to do. I don't know why I'm punching there. I should be using my crowbar. Why did I not look for items there? Coins. Okay, so I took everything off you. Let's crowbar. There we go. As you see, the crowbar does a little bit more damage, just a tiny bit. Definitely something I want to use right now. Alright, there we go. Mutant blood. Ooh, a key. That will be useful in certain cases. I also like the homeroom mechanics. The homeroom is something you have to use if you want to get further and further in this case. There's reasons to go back. There's reasons to stay away in terms of, well, I am taking a little bit of time off and a little bit of food in order to get back up there. The premise also is interesting. While we've seen roguelikes like this before and horror elements like this before, I feel like this does provide a little bit of a difference from the regular sort of what you expect from the genre. I do feel that it does stand out in that sense. It's a little bit different. It's got a little bit of a different style and this sort of interesting, I don't want to say cell shaded because I don't think that's what I'm looking for, but more so a different presentation, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Now, note that I have the addict portion, so I can actually eat these other things, these overripe things that would normally poison me, but I can eat them just fine because I'm immune because of my stats. So there are reasons to take perks. On the flip side, if I don't necessarily find all the food that I need, I really do have to look for everything because, again, if my hunger gets down too low, guess what? I'm going to be dying quickly in terms of my health. And I don't need anything else with health-wise, so let us continue on. What are the negatives about this game? Well, I don't like some of the automation that the game has. I feel like for example, the tutorial you have to manually turn off. Even if you've played 4 or 5 levels at that point, or 4 and 5 runs, the tutorial stays on until you unclick it. I feel like it should ask you to turn off the tutorial, you know, or turn on the tutorial in that case, rather than having somebody who's done this over and over again not see that option and then not deal with it. Now, here's another problem I have. This guy's big. He's going to take a big chunk out of me. I don't have to fight him in this case. It's rather easy to run from enemies from what I've seen. And I don't think the speed or the dexterity necessarily changes that up in terms of like it's an improvement in terms of your stats. At least if that is, it's hidden. But it's rather easy to run from enemies in this game, and I find that to be problematic because, again, the risk and reward mechanics. I really feel like going into a room should be rather, you know, scary. Bird fell through the ceiling. I have some raw meat that I can cook now. Actually, I'm going to go cook it right now just because I have the opportunity. Make some good steak that we'll just keep in our pocket until we need it. I can reinforce the door, but I'm not planning on sleeping right now. What can I use to improve? What about the weapons? Again, a lot of the weapons here that I've got, that's not far off, and I'm pretty close, so I'm actually going to make the Kropesh here. That does actually use the weapon that I was using, so I'm going to have to take the statistic at this point. I really do wish it would have told me that I was going to use that item. That's my fault. But I really do wish it would have said, hey, you're about to use the weapon that you've got in your hand. Are you sure you want to do that yet? So there are some weird things with the crafting system that I'm not a fan of necessarily, but I'll take it. Nothing happened while I was sleeping. Excellent. All right, back down to the 76th floor. Yeah, no, you won't have your revenge because I'm running. Again, rather easy to run in this game. Again, the weapon variety, I feel like it's all suited towards, you know, different weapons that are not strength-based. I would have liked to see a little bit more variety in terms of giving you reasons to improve your strength early on. It also feels... runs don't necessarily feel unique after a while. I feel like once you play the first couple of runs, you've got a good idea what the game is going to throw at you. And while you want some familiarity, in this case, I feel like it could have done a little bit more to jazz up some of the unique aspects. I would like to see a lot more events that happened in this game. Even if they were smaller or even negative events in terms of like trying to help a survivor and them wanting to, you know, end up fighting you for your resources. I would have liked to see things like that. I feel like the game didn't necessarily play off that strength that it could have gone with rather easily. All right, let's eat that food. Let's use a health kit just to get ourselves back up to 100 because why not? Alright, and we're gonna fight this guy. Alright, hit him in the face with a Kropesh. I do like the weapon variety in terms of the different options, but there isn't really unique mechanics in terms of like, okay, a weapon could do some, different kind of ability, like, you know, make an enemy bleed. I do wish there was a little bit more variety in combat, even with the aiming system in question. In fact, I feel like the aiming system might have been a good chance to really make those unique aspects. Like, for example, the Kropesh seems like a weapon that you could go for the head for because of its curved nature. I feel like if you would have given me good reasons to go for the head in this case, it would have been interesting. It would have been like, okay, it will do a lot more damage because it is the way it's shaped or the, you know, specific situation that it's in. It's a sad situation because of the fact that I feel like the aiming system could have been a lot better. I really do. I feel like it could have been taken to an entirely new level, but instead it just didn't necessarily live up to my expectations. Eat some cooked meat here. Now, let's talk a little bit about the aesthetic. You know, it's not necessarily the nicest game to look at. It's definitely stylized. It definitely has an interesting nature to it. But I feel like, you know, in terms of like sort of the high definition doesn't work. It definitely feels different, and I will give it that. It's not my cup of tea in terms of stats, though. Oh god, I'm not dealing with you. Okay, this guy was faster than me, so he actually got some damage on me. Reason I don't want to deal with that guy, he could poison me. And I don't know if I have... Okay, I do have the ability to make an antidote right now, so that's a good thing. I really... Oh, well, I'm immune to poison. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm retarded. Okay. Let's get back up there. Let's see if we can make something else. Ooh, knuckles. I'll definitely use those for the time being. Losing my voice. I don't know why. Just guess it's just something that happens. Okay, definitely want some wire, so I'm gonna craft that and upgrade my workbench, even though I don't need to at this point. Again, I'll lose that statistic for the time being, and dexterity is too much, so I'll hold off on that for the time being. Give me a second. Alright, food. Let's make some fish and chips. Let's make some fried fish. And some coffee. Because reasons. Overall, Skyhill is an interesting take on the genre. I will admit that it does play towards the survival element a little bit more, and I like the element of survival in this case. I'm not actually a very fun survival fan in terms of... I don't necessarily go towards those games in terms of traditional survival mechanics with hunger and things like that. I feel like it bogs down to way too many games and makes it micromanagey at times when I don't want it to be micromanagey. However, I do think Skyhill does it right, and I do think that a lot of the things that I complain about are things that I feel like it could have taken it to the next level. It is a $15 game. I do feel like that there are better elements and games that in the genre that do things a little bit better than this game does. But from a survival element, in terms of the roguelike nature, I feel like it hits the mark and hits the mark pretty well. And for somebody who's looking for that specifically, I feel like the game does do the job rather well and feel like it will be worth your time. Now, if you're not a roguelike fan, this game is not for you. This game definitely does not introduce the mechanics of roguelikes or survival games very well for anyone who's not accustomed to them, and I think the things that drag them down, those who like tactical RPGs or tactics, I don't think the game will necessarily play to your strengths either. I think the game's rather simple in its nature, despite the fact that, you know, it could be... What's the word I'm looking for? It could be interesting for some. Speed and... Okay, so I need to put that up there. There we go. Anyway, this is Dragnix signing out before his voice goes out for this point. Again, I will always take feedback, so I will leave the Steam review as well as, you know, store page, stuff like that in the description below. I'm always looking for feedback. Again, I am trying to make a career of this, if you've watched the channel before. And I always am taking feedback to improve myself. So if you have any feedback, let me know. If you did like this video, hit that like button or share it with a friend if you so desire. And if you want more content like this, that subscribe button, it probably wants a friend right now. And that friend would be you. So you probably should hit it. Not in a violent sort of way, of course, but, you know, a loving way. Alright, I will see you all later, and I will try to survive and see if I can get down to the last level of Skyhill. That cop is a little bit steroid-based. Anyway, later. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this content and want to see more of it, you may want to hit that subscribe button on the left hand side. If you like this video and want to see more of this content, take a look at this video on the left hand side as well. And if you missed my last video, take a look at the right hand side. Once again, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.